Негативні речі – це я бачу розбитих і поламаних людей. З 24 числа лютого, коли почалася війна, і з одного дня на другий люди втратили все – бізнес, роботу, втратили рідних, близьких.
You see everything destroyed, everything, civil people's houses, everything. It's hard to describe.
Medicine, water, clothes, hygiene. So this is what we deliver.
I'm Ukrainian. I come from west of Ukraine, city called Mukachevo. But I'm studying law in Vienna. I heard about this church 6 years ago or 7 years ago when I moved here. I was in Ukraine that time, and I wanted to leave in 3 days for my university. And people were talking about war between Russia and Ukraine 2, even 3 weeks before everything started. But I always told them it's impossible. It can't be. I didn't believe. And in 5 o'clock in the morning, I heard that Russia invaded. And first of all, I had panic. I didn't know how to behave. I just left Mukachevo. It was the hardest drive I ever had, really emotional and too much traffic. And yeah, I arrived in Vienna, and 2 days later I was so angry with myself that I left, because I felt like I left my country in problems. So first what I felt was panic. I knew I wanted to help, but I didn't know how. I never did volunteering work, and I was never in any volunteering organization, and honestly I was skeptical about all this. And I just posted a story on my Instagram that if somebody needs any help, they can contact me. But I don't have a lot of followers on Instagram, but people started to share my story, and other people started to contact me. They were asking for medicine, for nappies, for stuff I could buy. So I basically first times I bought everything from my own money. Honestly, spent almost all my savings on it. Some people I just transferred the money, and that's how I started to help. And then later on, Mary, Pastor Rob Sass, contacted me. She found out that I'm helping, and she wanted to help as well. And that's when we started to make lists and started everything. I didn't think it will grow to big project, to donations, to the project we have now. Like, it's a big project, I would say.
It started with my wife and Eleonora, because I think Eleonora shared that she was going to the Ukraine. And then my wife said, "What are you doing?" She says, "I'm taking some food," and then in her car. And then my wife said, "Well, I think I can help you get some food." And then one of the guys in the church called me and said, "I'm buying a van with another businessman for the Ukraine," because I thought of buying a van myself, selling my car and buying a van, but they bought a van. And so then it started. We started loading the van and going with Eleonora. Getting the supplies every week, that's a big job.
I'm making a list every week. I'm going to Mukachevo, to my church. I'm asking, looking around, what do we need, what food do we need, other stuff, clothes, and then I'm making a list. Then we are either collecting or buying stuff, loading the van. We have drivers who are going every week, twice a week. Our person from our church is meeting everybody at the border. Then we unloading the van, helping in church a little bit, and then the drivers are leaving.
So we have two kind of groups of items, because we're helping the church to cook for refugees. There's on average 70 refugees per day that they have to feed. So we buy larger cans of products and big sacks of flour and pasta, stuff like that. And then they're also ministering and helping people in the community that need help. They've lost their jobs, they have no income. Families have taken in refugees, as many as 10 people into their homes. And they have to feed these people. So we're also doing that, like every day they give away 30 bags.
I'm just in awe of how God brought momentum to this project. Like from the finances, from the churches who want to join our project.
Thank you.
And even people who don't know us just come and we don't know them. And they just hear and they just bring and they're gone, but they make a difference. We can really experience how people get food, how they get generators, how they cry because they feel loved and supported. And we as Christians can shine like this, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
In the Southwest, there's no real danger. It's like a safe haven for the country. And it's a wonderful corridor coming in from Hungary to this church in Mukachevo, Pastor Tibor's, and that's Eleonora's dad.
Також в Мукачеві вже на сьогоднішній день більше 20 тисяч людей, переселенців. Ці люди приходять. Є такі, що живуть постійно вже 2 місяці. І ми кожен день, щодня від 30 до 50 пакунків для сімей. Це продуктові набори, це памперси, це гігієна, це дитяче харчування. Ми допомагаємо цим людям. Також організовуємо їм, особливо жінкам з дітьми, можливість виїхати за кордон. Це і в Швейцарію, і в Угорщину, і в багато других країн. Церква отримує багато гуманітарної допомоги від наших партнерів, друзів. І ми буквально по всій країні розподіляємо цю гуманітарну допомогу. Ми неоднократно також їздимо в самі пострадавші райони. Це і Бородянка, і Буча, і Ірпінь, і Гостомель.
Food, medicine, water, clothes, hygiene. So this is what we deliver, and gasoline for generators.
And this is to the people in the outskirts, so like without the electricity, without the power and everything?
So remote, small villages where primarily elderly people are.
So the people who can't go out and shop and
They are 65 plus.
yeah.
Some people that we met 85 years. All Christian churches met here with our government. Just a few weeks before the war, we had a meeting with the Prime Minister of Ukraine here. So now you can see that this fancy conference hall is turned to be a storage for hygiene and hygiene stuff for children and women. So when we have a request for diapers or other stuff, we just come here. So it's very symbolic how Christian places can turn to be a place for integral ministry. This room used to be a bookstore where the Ukrainian Bible Society was selling different kind of Bibles. Now it looks like a professional pharmacy. It was a great miracle when our team members, they went to real pharmacy and they were purchasing some medical stuff for people in villages. And the young lady, she started to ask questions, why do you need this? So, and then next day she came here and she sorted everything. So now we have no idea about medicine, so but we can read and we can just pick up and take it to the people. So this Bible store is now serving as a pharmacy center. So, and like here, it's all kind of stuff for children, and we just come here and we take what we need. And now there's a very symbolic combination of real bread or physical bread and spiritual bread. So you can see still some Bibles and over there, and also a lot of food that we store here. And every day we take food from here and we deliver it to different places. So this is how everything is working. We just demonstrate how it can be used and people can use it right now.
Are they hard to start or no?
No, it's very easy. Well, it's easy. You just need to have gasoline and oil.
Okay.
So, but in the village, you will not find any oil. So now we give 1 liter of oil. We also put oil inside. There is a little bit of petrol here, so we can start. But also we give 10 liters of gasoline to every generator. So and people can use it from that second.
Awesome.
So and it's great because you also provide extension cord. And this it's just perfect picture. You know? Just give it. So
That's amazing.
people are amazed.
Good.
So and everybody knows that it is quite expensive. So when you give it, people would ask me, "Who are you? You are our angels."
Yeah.
Yes.
They have an elevator, so it's save our energy.
Books and food.
Would you guys also use this as a
Bible.
shelter?
Давай.
Йдемо десь на 2 кілометри та туди попробуємо. Кітніта закажемо ліпші. Це аматорські дітські. Це не повага маленька.
Now we are going to 5 cities, towns around the Kyiv with our buses with provision, and we have Bibles with us. And I would like to ask Pastor Ivan to pray.
Help us to show them your love around the world. So we got 6 Russian missiles, and this is our main academic center. And Russians attacked our campus just 2 days after we evacuated everybody. Our Ukrainian army informed us about threat. Vera Vasilyevna. We haven't seen each other for 60 days. We are working together. So this is our main academic building. On the first floor, there is our library. Almost every window is destroyed.
My brother-in-law is making a documentary about it.
So, and we will rebuild our campus, and we will strengthen our mission. So these scarves on our campus will always remind us about this war.
Що змогли, то тут вже прийшли, бачите.
There are a number of pastors that have been arrested by Russians. There are a number of churches that have been destroyed, and also some of the seminaries like ours have been destroyed by Russians. So as you see, our campus, our windows are destroyed, but our library, which is considered as one of the best in Ukraine, is okay, and we are very happy. This is our chapel. And last Sunday we had a unique chance to worship God and celebrate Easter in this chapel for the first time since 24th of February. Of course now it's everything clean, we spent some time cleaning, but you can imagine what was that before. And it was very moving to have communion and also to have communion with the Ukrainian soldiers who just came and participated in the service. So, and I am waiting for the moment when we will gather again our faculty and students. We have 50 faculty in our seminary, and out of 50, only 2 are not refugees. They stay in their own apartment. The rest had to flee to different parts of Ukraine or other countries. So now our faculty are in different countries, and we hope that we will be able to gather all of them again and to continue our ministry. We resumed our academic process on our full-time programs using Zoom and other online tools, but we are planning to have people on our campus soon. And from the next week, we plan to resume our relief ministry from the seminary. So we have kitchen, and our kitchen staff, they will be cooking food for people that are in our neighborhood.
It doesn't matter whether you put aside children or people or evacuation or humanitarian aid or anything. That was a moving target. So I remember that picture. I have a photo somewhere of that bus just shut down. And I was coming back by car to the campus, and I'm thinking, wow, and that's what we are risky to do, because it is risk to remain here, and it is risk to evacuate them. So it's a difficult choice when you have to choose between risk and risk.
And parents called him several times, asking how safe it is. So the strongest argument he had, I am with my children, with all of our students. So how can I say more?
Yeah.
So, and for parents, it was enough to hear that faculty, leaders of the seminary, they are together with students.
The students weren't just abandoned.
Yeah.
They are calling you and they said, well, we would like to come and pick up our children. And I said, well, of course you can do that. Can you guarantee us that we can come safely to the seminary? I said, well, I wish I could, but I cannot. Because even if at the moment I'm talking to you, it is safe and peaceful, in a minute, in an hour, the situation was changing by hours, not by days. It was just changing constantly, and we were surrounded basically, this whole area, by the Russian occupators. Basically from all sides. So we are like in the middle. There are Russian soldiers, Ukrainian soldiers as we enter into this area, and we are just in the middle, and missiles are flying over our heads. We did not expect that Belarus will let their land be used for attacking Ukraine, because this is direction toward the Belarus border. And we were like, they will attack us from that side, but not from the northern side, because there is no Russian border here.
Of course, yeah.
But we were completely mistaken. And towns like Bucha, where we'll be going, Borodyanka, they were mostly destroyed. And no mayor of these towns would ever expect or had a plan for that.
Yeah.
Because we could not expect that we will be attacked basically not by one country, but by 2 countries.
And has not exploded. So it's from a missile. So, and we used to have music equipment of our music department here from Russia, gift. So, You will be shocked when you see the images. When we will cross the bridge, that area has been occupied by Russians for more than a month. In my city of Bucha, where mass murdering occurred, it seems that every single apartment and house was looted by Russian soldiers, including my own. Some people ask me, how do I know that it was Russians? I know for sure because they left the coat with Russian symbols in my apartment.
Well, were there foot soldiers here fighting, or was this just jungle?
Yeah, Russian soldiers, they came to this bridge, but our soldiers, they exploded this bridge, destroyed. So there was a front line here by this small river, and Russian tried to cross this river, but they were not able to. So there was plenty of Russian tanks over here. Now it's clean everything. So, but it was very smart decision by our government to destroy this building on the second day.
We are in Kyiv region, city called Borodyanka. It's one of the cities Russians bombed the most, like Bucha, Irpin, Hostomel, and Borodyanka. 4 cities you'll hear quite often. In Kyiv, the atmosphere is different again because you can feel people went through something personally, not just heard, saw pictures, came, visited, they went through something personally, they are broken.
Доброго здоров'я.
Він пішов віддати. Нас було черга. Да, ми поділимося. Ми ділимося до останнього.
А якщо я є дитяча біблія у вас для неї? Ну, не дитяча, така вже для дуже гарна біблія.
Якщо є, я візьму, тому що я її похрестила в минулому році.
А біблії немає.
А Біблії, звісно, немає. У мене їх воно стоять.
Very careful, friends.
This is the entrance of her flat. Там була спальня. There were destroyed. There was a sleeping room. There was
Спальня також половини немає. Тут була наша
another
кімната.
room was here.
Yes.
That direction.
Kitchen room. Bedroom.
Kitchen there and bedroom. Another bedroom there.
Це було десь,
It can be, no, я зрозумів, да.
So they're living here?
Це, мабуть, да, вже будуть зносити.
Ну, я ж кажу, наші більш-менш.
Ще не дуже пусто.
Ну, у мене хата є.
У вас тут було і мародерство. So looting would take place here, explosion would take place here, everything.
Тут у нас стояла стінка. Це вони стінки так все викидали просто.
Yeah, so they would have here kind of storage, you know, like where you place your stuff, so they would just throw everything.
Даже детського
To the floor.
мікрофона, малий мікрофон детський, щоб спати, він даже взяли, просто поламали.
Yeah, so
А зачем?
even the my daughter's toys they would break. So one would wonder why would they do that, you know.
And did they come in here and just tell you to leave?
Ну ви виїхали раніше, так? Ніж вони сюди прийшли.
Да.
Yes, no,
Як
no,
вони
they
вже прийшли в
left
квартиру,
left
вони
before. The apartment was empty when they came in. Well, we would still consider to be lucky comparing to other people. What they have. Because as you've seen other apartments, they're just, you know, nothing. Just destroyed completely, and people have lost everything. And that's what you hear, you know, in this kind of horrible situation. People are comparing to others, and they kind of say, well, we are lucky, you know.
Yeah.
Either we survived, or just alive, or otherwise. I want to say.
And all the stories you hear there, like how they were sitting 7 people in such small basement. I alone couldn't stay there for 2-3 minutes, and you can imagine 7 people with children sleeping there for 3-4 weeks without lights, without food, without anything. It's simply horrible.
Of these, because that's where they would hide, deep down there. Where Ivan is even further.
Іноді я просто мовчу і слухаю. Слухаю ці страшні історії людей. То, що не можуть люди, ми не можемо підібрати тих слів, яких можуть зробити їх якось щасливими, але ми знаємо, що Дух Божий може це зробити.
Okay, and we will stop, and Vasily will. We are visiting a young girl. Her name is Vika. Her father has been killed, and mother is missing. So, when we are visiting her from time to time, bringing food to her and her grandfather. So. Це мої волонтери.
but they are positive. It's simply amazing, you know. You just ask yourself, how can you stay positive after you went through all these things? It's unbelievable.
Обніми, Віка, хлопці ж обніми, волонтер, дядю Васю, обніми. Обніміться.
Женьки, як роса на сонці, запанує браття у своїй сторонці. Душу тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду.
I kind of see it in different perspectives. I see it in a moral perspective, that there's a war and people are being hurt. Soldiers are dying from both sides. And we're there to help Ukrainians and Russian people. Anyone who comes here as a refugee, we're helping some Russians who are here as refugees from Donbass. And my wife goes to them every couple of days. And so it's about helping people, you know, it's on a moral perspective. And then, you know, the political, ideological perspectives can be debated forever. And so we try to keep it on a moral perspective. We just want to help people and take the opportunity to share Christ with them.
I think even when war will stop, and I hope it will stop, it will end, and I'll still find a way to help other people, refugees, children, I don't know, because it encouraged me very much.